At just 21 years old, Anitra Holloman had already experienced profound love and devastating heartbreak. In 2022, while 4 months pregnant, she lost her partner, 21-year-old Demetris Silliman Jr. Tragically, less than 2 years later, Anitra herself was killed in a random act of gun violence during a night out at Hush nightclub in Birmingham, leaving her 1-year-old daughter orphaned. This sequence of events unfolds like a harrowing chapter from a true crime story, highlighting the cruel impacts of violence on a young family. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. In the heart of Birmingham, a young woman named Anitra Holloman, known affectionately as Riri by those close to her, carried a legacy shaped by love and marred by tragedy. Only 2 years earlier, Riri, 4 months pregnant at the time, had lost her partner, Demetris Silliman Jr., to the rampant gun violence that plagued the streets of their city. His body was found lifeless in his car on a cold October night, leaving Riri to face a future alone with their unborn child. She emerged from her grief with resilience, her spirit unbroken. At just 21, she balanced motherhood to her daughter Skilar, college classes, and work at her family's tax firm. She had plans, dreams of a life filled with purpose and joy, aspirations of teaching and nurturing not just her own child, but countless others. Her life was a vibrant testament to her determination and the boundless love she held for her daughter. Yet, her story took a horrifying turn on a night meant for celebration. As Riri and her friends queued outside Hush Lounge on Magnolia Avenue, a place buzzing with the lively chatter of youth and the anticipation of a night out, the air was abruptly pierced by gunfire. In an instant, the scene descended into chaos. Over 100 rounds were fired, some from fully automatic weapons, turning a moment of festivity into a scene of devastation. Riri was shot 4 times and died at the scene, the bullets finding her as she stood in line, an act of violence as senseless as it was brutal.
You good, bro?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Fuck! 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 What you good? You gonna have to go that way. You got to go that way. You got to go that way. You got to go that way, baby. Come on. You got to go that way. Fuck! Where's Kobe? Where's Kobe? Walk that way first, sir. Walk out.
Our officers arrived on the scene when they observed 2 adult males and 1 adult female who was unresponsive on the sidewalk, suffering from a gunshot wound. We also began locating multiple additional gunshot victims in and around the area. Also, multiple victims began arriving at various hospitals throughout our city. Birmingham Fire and Rescue personnel arrived on the scene in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. Our medics pronounced the 2 adult males and the 1 adult female deceased on the scene. I just gathered information from our team that a fourth victim has now been pronounced deceased at UAB Hospital. So we have a total of 4 deceased victims as of now. From speaking with our officers and speaking with our detectives, we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area. I'm told at least 4 of those gunshot victims are life-threatening. The other have various injuries. Here's what we know so far in this investigation. We believe that multiple shooters fired multiple shots on a group of people in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. There's no one in custody.
So Birmingham Fire and Rescue said they transported 8 from the scene. Okay, so we have 3 dead on the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
8 transported from the scene, one of which we believe died at UAB Hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
How many others do you think showed up injured?
Right now, we have dozens of gunshot victims who are at various hospitals. In these types of situations, when you lock into a number, that number typically changes. So we can, for a fact, say that we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area.
So more than 24?
Unknown on that number, but we have dozens of victims. We're not going to lock into a number right now, but when we finalize everything, we will provide that number to our media partners.
Were these group of people outside of a business here? Where specifically were they?
We were told that all of the victims were out in the open on either a sidewalk or the street. So these group of shooters fired upon these victims when they were out in the open. We were not told that this happened inside of any business. This was on either a sidewalk or a city street.
Was this a drive-by shooting, or were the shooters on foot as well?
Our detectives are working to confirm whether the shooters walked up on the victims or drove by in a vehicle. And that's why we need the public's help. There's no information that's too small in an investigation like this.
Do you have a number of shots fired?
We're just going to say multiple shots fired.
Do you know why that group was there? Was there a party or an event down this road?
It's just a beautiful night on a Saturday. This is one of the most popular entertainment districts in Birmingham, so you can always expect a crowd. Right now, we are focused on getting these shooters off the street. We can't stress enough, if you are a business owner and you have a business in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue or surrounding areas, we cannot stress to you enough how important it is. If you have any surveillance footage, please reach out to the Birmingham Police Department. We know that this area is saturated with cameras. If you own a business in the 5 Point South District in and around the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue, we need you.
Police are on the hunt for multiple suspects who they say fired into a crowd in a busy entertainment district in Birmingham, Alabama, killing 4 and injuring more than a dozen. It was around 11 p.m. on Saturday. Police racing to the city's historic 5 Points South area near the campus of the University of Alabama at Birmingham, finding at least 21 victims. Video showing a harrowing scene, victims laying on the sidewalk. Police now saying at least one of the 4 people killed is believed to be an intended target.
We believe that there was a hit, if you will, on that particular person, as far as, someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed.
24-year-old Gabriel Islami tells us he was standing outside a lounge with friends when he heard the gunshots.
I heard the gunshots, I ran. And it wasn't even a few seconds into running, then out of nowhere, I just couldn't feel my leg, and I fall. And I get up, because it didn't even resonate with me that I got shot.
Islami recounting those terrifying moments as he recovers at home.
I get up and I kind of turn around and look back, and you just see a horror movie of a scene. I mean, there's bodies on the sidewalk. There's dark smoke from the guns covering the area.
Authorities say multiple suspects jumped out of a vehicle, opening fire on a group standing outside, and then ran off.
It was just really general chaos and pandemonium. This gentleman just kept screaming, you know, "That's my sister."
Investigators now say they believe the firearms involved in the shooting were converted to fully automatic using a so-called gun switch. Around 100 shell casings collected at the scene. Police appealing for the public's help.
The first thing and the priority is to get these shooters, find these shooters and get them off our streets.
Riri's mom recounted the tragedy, her voice a mix of despair and disbelief. "They shot my baby 4 times, she said, the pain evident in her words. Tahj Booker, only 27, heroically tried to shield Riri from the bullets. Both of them fell together on the sidewalk, their lives tragically cut short. The aftermath was a blur of sirens, cries, and the harsh reality of another night stolen by violence." Camp, in a frantic state, traced her daughter's phone to the scene, but received no answer. Her heart sank with each unanswered call. Rushing to the hospital, she was met only with the cold absence of her child. Her worst fears were confirmed when she was told to return to the crime scene. There, the truth awaited her. Anitra, her vibrant daughter, lay lifeless on the ground where she had fallen.
My baby didn't deserve it.
Back at home, little Skilar, too young to understand the permanence of loss, looked for her mother in the quiet corners of their shared bedroom. The home, once filled with the laughter and warmth of Riri's presence, echoed with the silence of her absence.
I just know that I am going to be the best grandmother that I can be to my Skilar, and I'm going to protect her very, very closely.
Riri will be remembered by all who knew her as the girl who radiated kindness and who loved fiercely. Her life, so full of potential and promise, was remembered not just for how she died, but for how intensely and passionately she lived. As the community mourned, they held on to the image of her smile, her ambitions, and the tender way she loved those around her. Holloman's story, marked by both the joy of her life and the tragedy of her death, remains a poignant reminder of the fragile threads that hold us to this world. As her family and friends navigated through their grief, they clung to her memory, a beacon of what was and what could have been. May Anitra Holloman rest in peace.